Welcome back. Camphor and allied product is a classic story of how some of the best run companies in India tend to go wrong after a few years in operations. I caught up with Dharmil Bodani, the young MD of Camphor and allied product, to find out how we managed to turn around the company in 8 quarters. Dharmil, Punit, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Dharmil, if I may begin by asking you, what made you acquire Camphor and allied products and how the whole deal went about?
Ravi, Oriental Aromatics traditionally has been in the flavor and fragrance business, which is the front end of what we do. Camphor and allied has been involved in the manufacturing of camphor and aroma chemicals. This would mean backward integrating Oriental Aromatics activities. This was one of the main reasons which we wanted to get into it, because we wanted to become a fully integrated flavor, fragrance and aroma chemical manufacturer. So it was the vision of my father, of the family, that at some point in our business we would want to be part of the aroma chemical business.
So how did the whole deal happen? Did you all approach the Dalal family or they approach you?
Oriental Aromatics has been doing business with Camphor and allied for many years. So we knew the company, we knew the management, and we approached them because traditionally we've also held about 4.99% in the company. So yes, we approached the Dalal family.
Okay, what was the scene of the company when you took over?
Ravi, there has been a failed attempt in the past to acquire Camphor and allied. They were planning to spin off the Bareilly plant in Uttar Pradesh, and this failed attempt caused a lot of uncertainties not only within the company and the morale for all the employees of the company, but also for our suppliers, our customers and all stakeholders basically in the business.
Okay, we ask you, what are 3 or 4 things you did to turn around the company?
To start with, we had the Bareilly challenge. We had to convince the workforce there that we are here to stay, to grow the business, to improve processes. So the first thing we did was we built the morale of the company and its employees within. We then restructured the top management of the company. A lot of the older management with Camphor and allied was waiting for a new management to come in so they could move on. We looked at the processes. We invested in process improvement, where we first time after a very long time Camphor and allied started reinvesting in research and development. We looked at financial restructuring, where we had a lot of support from HSBC. We looked at the entire sourcing strategy, where we planned purchases in a more strategic way because we had more funds available to us. We planned a lot of improvement in relationships across the board and applied a lot of common sense.
So how much time did it take you all to turn around the company?
8 quarters, Ravi.
Okay, then what was the turnover when you took over and what was it 8 quarters later in terms of turnover, in terms of profit?
Ravi, the turnover when we took over 8 quarters ago was 104 crores with a PBT of 30 lakhs and a PAT of 4 lakhs. After 8 quarters, today it's at 167 crores with a PBT of 16 crores and a PAT of about 10 crores.
Well, let me get you in. What made you support Oriental Aromatics to take over Camphor and allied? Camphor and allied was the only company, as far as I know, just got only one banker, that is HSBC. So how do you make it happen that way?
The most important aspect of any company for us is the quality of management. And I've had occasion to know Oriental for many years now. It's an open secret that way back in the mid-90s when I was a young RM, I was actually managing the Oriental account. So I knew a little bit about the company, I knew their value system, and we knew Camphor and allied, and we knew that the company had struggled, and it was a fundamentally sound business, but it needed some fresh thinking, it needed some synergies, it needed some financial discipline. And we were quite confident when Oriental suggested that they were going to partner with them. It was a natural fit, not just in terms of products, not just in terms of the industry they were in, but it was also a great fit in terms of the skills that the new management brought to Camphor.
Dharmil, you were a customer for Camphor and allied earlier. Then you took over the company, you became the owner.
That's right.
In the marketplace, you were competing with certain kind of people and they became a customer. How did you manage this shift?
We traditionally are in a business where all our suppliers we used to buy from would also compete with us. So it's not uncommon to have other fully integrated flavor, fragrance and aroma chemical manufacturers who we would deal with. So at one end we were earlier as Oriental Aromatics customers to them, and then when we acquired Camphor and Allied, they became our customers. So our relationships were already there. It was in fact reassuring for our current customers who were also Oriental Aromatics suppliers that there was a management now in place at Camphor and Allied that wanted to continue the business and grow the business.
Tell me, what is the challenge in your business? See, one is it's a chemical business. At the same time, I was told it's very secretive also.
Right.
So how do you manage?
Well, the chemical side of the business is not as secretive as the flavor and fragrance side. The chemical side of the business is process driven. The value addition lies in what improvements you can make on the existing business that you have in terms of raw material buying, in terms of processes, and in terms of how you manage your batch cycles and how you manage your energy consumption.
So how do you describe your business?
We're in the business of the senses, taste and smell. We touch you all in your daily life, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. We do flavors for toothpaste, we do soaps, detergents, shampoos, conditioners, shaving creams. When you get to the breakfast table, we'll flavor your yogurt, we'll flavor your cereals. Till the time you get to lunch, we'll probably be involved in some part if you have a chocolate or a dessert. Till the evening, till you decide to shower again. We're in part of your life on a daily basis.
Okay, Dharmil, what kind of synergy have you been able to get with Oriental and Camphor put together?
From the Camphor and Allied perspective, since we understand the front end and the application of the aroma chemicals that we manufacture, we've been able to pick and choose the materials that we want to research and develop, and pick and choose the materials that the industry needs, and we've been able to add a lot of value to the R&D team with the backup of Oriental Aromatics so that it can take research and development on the right course.
Okay, Punit, looking at the company's growth profile now, are you happy that you backed the right horse?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a great example of what in Indian entrepreneurial spirit and skill set can do to a company, and we're indeed very proud to be associated with a firm which is homegrown but is now making a success of its ventures outside India. And it's literally, they started their business in the United States from scratch, and they've now got to a stage where they are a significant player in that market. They're looking to expand in other markets as well around the region, and we are very keen to play a role with them in those endeavors.
What are the business strategy in your business generally for both Oriental and Camphor?
Well, as much as they're integrated businesses, the strategies are very different. Focusing more on the aroma chemical side of the business, it is our goal to continue to give the industry well-researched, good processed molecules at probably the best prices that are there in the industry.
How much have you achieved in terms of suppose on a scale of 0 to 10?
Well, so far in the 8 quarters, I would say we've achieved a good 6, 7 on a scale of 10, because we've managed not only to sell out our capacities that we have today completely, we've optimized our yields, our production, improved our processes, but I think going forward, I'd have a new scale from 0 to 10, and that is where we would keep our focus.
What are the ingredients of success for a businessman?
To start with, a lot of common sense. We believe in honesty, integrity, building relationships with everybody that we deal with at all ends of the business. And lastly, which I believe personally is most important, is a passion. We are driven by being extremely passionate about the business.
Thank you, Dharmil. Thank you, Punit, for being on the show.
Thank you.
Well, that was Dharmil playing straight bat and telling us what kind of strategy he put in place to give the company a new lease of life. Here are some quick takes on what the management did to turn around the company. Build confidence among the workforce. The management convinced the workforce they were in for a long haul and would not destroy or strip the company's assets. Improve relations with customers. With competitors becoming the customers, the management had to assure them of quality product at aggressive price. Plugging revenue leaks. Cost cutting was done across the board. For instance, by switching over to agri-produce and coal for boilers The energy cost was drastically reduced. New buying strategy. Raw material buying became well researched and the company entered into a long-term contract for better pricing. And finally, the R&D team was challenged to not only launch new product but also improve on the existing processes. That turnaround strategy has worked for Camphor and allied products. Come to think of it, starting a business seems more easy than sustaining it and growing it. On that thinking note, it is time to say goodbye. See you next week, same time, with another interesting story.